Hey guys, it's Sweet. What is up? I hope you're good. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is what I read in September and my October TBR. Now I have way too many books on my October TBR because I want to read everything that would fit the vibe. Oh my god, I forgot another one. Yeah, no, I have way too many books on that TBR. So we're gonna start with what I read. So yeah, let's get into it. So this here is the first book. It's Evil Ride by Anna Scott. It's a motorcycle club second chance romance. It's spicy, of course. You can tell by the cover. And I gave it a 4 stars because this shit was great. So basically, June grew up in the biker club because her father was part of it. And when she, I don't remember how old, I think when she was 16, after both her father and her brother died, her mother and her moved away from the club because there was nothing tying them to it anymore. And in the first chapter, her mother dies. Since the Black Angels, which is the motorcycle club, had been her family when she was younger, she ends up going back to them for help while she grieves. That's when she sees Charlie again. Charlie was her crush as a teenager. He also had a crush on her, but after their first night together, basically, they got told different things. So there was a shit situation and they ended up like feeling like the other one didn't like them. So they grew apart. But now they're back together. It's a second chance romance. It's a motorcycle club, so of course there's biker stuff. It was just very good. A very good time. It does look big, but I finished it in like 3 days. It was great. Okay, next. This is going to be the third time I'm going to try to film about this book because for some reason I'm not able to explain what goes on in here. So, this book is Sorcery of Thorn by Margaret Rogerson, and it was very good. I don't remember how many stars I gave it. Let's open Goodreads. Oh yeah, plain and simple, I gave it a 5 stars. So our main character is Elizabeth, who wants to be a sort of librarian. Don't remember the exact name they gave them, but to protect grimoires from people and to protect people from grimoires, because under certain circumstances some grimoires can become malefics, which are monsters. One particular night she goes and ends up defeating one of these malefics, but a very important person in her library dies that night. So of course people think she did it. They think she killed that person, even though she didn't. So she's taken to, it's not a court, but like to a government thing to see if she is guilty or not. And who takes her there but the wonderful sorcerer Nathaniel Thorne. And yes, Sorcery of Thorn. Nathaniel Thorne is a sorcerer. And in her mind, sorcery and magic and all of this is bad. It's evil. And then she will fall into the world of sorcerers and everything that goes with it. And the reason why one of the grimoires turned to a malefic that night, and who actually is the murderer. I don't think I can say it any other way or any more if I don't want to spoil, but it was very good. Nathaniel is a sweetheart. I just want to say my LGBTQ heart is full because Nathaniel is bi. It's just said at some point like, oh, I had a crush on that dude once. Oh, I didn't know you were gay, and he's like, oh no, I like both. And Catrian, is that her name? Elizabeth's best friend from the library is Arrow and or Ace. Like, I just said at some point, like, oh yeah, like, she doesn't have an interest in people. So yeah, this was just a very good book. In August, I read Enchantment of Raven, also by her, and I can tell you, men written by her are just fucking amazing. And I really want to read Vespertine, but I'm on a book buying ban because I have way too many books on my TBR. Next up, I read Love on the Brain by Miss Ali Hazelwood. Honestly, I'm gonna love anything Ali Hazelwood wrote. That is for damn sure. Now, my rating, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Oh, only a 4 out of 5. I give it a 4 out of 5. This story is about Bee, who is contacted by NASA to work on one of their neurological thing. There's a lot of sciencey thing, and I felt dumb reading some part of it, but it's okay. But it is discovered that she will have to co-lead this whole project with Mr. Levi right here. I called him Levi, I called him Levi while reading it, and honestly, I don't really mind. Pretty sure it's Levi. It's L-E-V-I, so. And yeah, they were nemesis in college or university. Anyways, they were nemesis in school, and yeah, it was just very, very sweet. And Miss Ali Hazelwood could make me read anything she writes. Talking about Miss Ali Hazelwood, I reread Love Hypothesis because of course I had to. So you can tell there's some little short square ones and some bigger round ones, because the first time I read that was in February and I was scared of putting too many post-it notes. Now I don't give a fuck, so every time she thinks he's handsome, I tabbed it. So if you don't know by now, the Love Hypothesis is a fake dating trope. It's also academic. It's women in STEM, just like Love on the Brain. So Olive, yeah, no, that's not. Olive is a third year, I think. Yeah, PhD candidate, and she's working very hard on her, like just on her PhD presentation to finally fucking graduate, okay? This little man is Adam Carlson, the love of my fucking life, okay? I love this man with my whole heart. He is a professor. And he is known as like the bitchy professor, like the hard-ass professor. So Olive wants to convince her best friend Anda it's okay if she dates Jeremy, who happens to be Olive's ex. And to prove to Anda she's over Jeremy, she's like, oh yeah, I've got a date, like don't worry. But she's in the lab instead of actually having a date. And on that night, she actually nearly bumps into Anne. What does she do? Well, she kills the first man she sees, who's Adam Carlson. And they end up fake dating and then actually having feeling for each other. And again, my little LGBT heart is very happy because Olive, she doesn't have the word for it, but she is demisexual, and I am also demisexual, so I put two little post-it notes. Let me just, like, at some point she says, for years she'd wonder whether she was asexual, and she had realized only recently that she might be able to experience sexual attraction, but only with people she trusted deeply. Which is what demisexuality is, and I love representation. This was a 5-star. Second time I read it, second time I give it 5-star. Favorite book I read this month. Nothing else to say about it. Alright, next up. it wouldn't be a good read in monk without a reverse harem, of course. It's literally written on the cover, like military reverse harem romance. I was at my internship with that book. People could have seen, but whatever. So it's Triple Duty Bodyguard by Lily Gold. So Briar is a celebrity, and she has a stalker who was able to break into her house and in her bed while she was sleeping. And basically, you know, her security was shit. And so she gets 3 new bodyguards who are all ex-military. There is, I'm trying to tell you which is which. Glenn, pretty sure this one's Glenn, who is a Scottish sweetheart. Glenn is so lovely. He's a big teddy bear. And then there is Kenta, this little man right here, and they describe it as a secretive long-haired soldier. Kenta, okay, so with all their personality, Kenta is has a PhD in psychology. So, you know, he's this calm, gentle sweetheart who tries to help her through everything. Glenn is a big teddy bear. And then we have Matt, the bad-tempered leader. Just this little man right here. And yeah, don't get fooled by the cartoon cover. It's a spicy book. It is very good. And what I liked that we don't get in other books is we had the stalker's point of view multiple times. So, you know, we had the 3 guys and Briar's point of view, like going about that and like doing this and this and that for this and this interview and gala and whatever. And then we had the stalker's point of view. Yeah, it was just very good. I gave this one, I have to get to my Goodreads again, 4.5 out of 5. It was very good. I really enjoyed it. And Lily Gold has 3 other books, and again, like when I'm off my book buying ban, I'm probably gonna buy the 3 other books. Do I need them? Probably not. For my sanity? Yes, definitely. Then I read some Catherine Ann Kingsley. She writes some villain romance. And I read the Immortal Soul duology, so Heart of Dracula and Curse of Dracula, and yeah, she makes you fall in love with Dracula in this one. So it's in Boston, and I'm just gonna tell you like what the first little thing of the blurb is because I love that. It says, "Death come to the city, heralded by a crimson moon and screams in the night. The Vampire King has come to claim the city, unless he can be stopped." So basically, Maxine, her main character, is a psychic-ish. Oh fuck, didn't it? They always say like, "Oh, I'm not actually a psychic," blah blah blah, but she can feel the emotion. She can't read people's thoughts, but she can feel their emotion, their past. She can basically feel their soul. And any object, like if she touches them, she can also feel its soul and what it's lived. So Tree Hunters, who wants to kill Dracula, came to her and was like, "Hey, we have this pin, which was the Vampire King's. Can you tell us anything about him?" And she does, and she ends up meeting Dracula multiple times and actually falling in love together. And don't remember his name, but one of the hunter is a fucking bitch. One of the hunter is a fucking bitch. I don't remember his name. And then another of the hunter is Eddie. He's such a gentle sweetheart, honestly. And the third one is Bella. And if you know what happens with Bella in the second book, she deserves it. She's doing amazing. She's living her life. Yeah, these books were amazing. I don't remember what I gave the rating I gave them. Oh yeah, I gave both of them a 5-star. Yeah, I just love her books. I read 2 of her series right now, and I own 3 more. And I'm definitely gonna read them all. Last but not least, that I read this month was I finally read Serpent and Dove. And I'm also currently reading like the Blood and Honey, which is the 2nd book. I'm a good chunk of it in. And I'm gonna tell you what the blurb says because I love it. Bound as one to love, honor, or burn. A witch and a witch hunter thrust into holy matrimony. There was only one way such a story could end. With a stake and a match. So, we have Lou and Reed, our 2 main characters. Lou is a witch and a criminal who hasn't actually used witchcraft in about 2 years. And Reed is a witch hunter. And after a certain event, just put it that way, they are forced to marry, so she doesn't go to jail and he's not like pushed out of the Chasseurs, which are the witch hunters, which he's a captain of. So they get married, and yeah, a lot goes in after that. They do end up falling in love. Of course they do. And after that, the reason why she is not with her, Lou is not with her coven anymore, starts coming back and exploding in their face. I give that one a 4 out of 5. I'm currently reading the 2nd one right here. I'm on page 379 out of like 530 something pages. So 332. I was nearly right. And this one is not as good as the first one, but I think it is needed to have like all of this before you can get into the 3rd one, and that everything's gonna explode in that one. I'm pretty sure, like, everything's gonna go insane in the 3rd one, so we need that 2nd one. And now, let's get into my October TBR, which I have way too many books. I have like 7 of them that are like, oh, maybe. So, like, I have a pile that's, yeah, of course, and then the others like, oh, probably. So let's start with my yes, of course pile. First of all, we have Gods and Monster, which is a 3rd book of Serpent and Dove. I have the first 2 paperback and the 3rd one hardback. Next, this one came out not long ago, and it is by Elise Kova. It's one of her Married to Magic novel. It is Duel with the Vampire Lord. So, in January, I read both Dance with the Fey Prince and Deal with the Elf King, and Deal with the Elf King was my favorite book of the month. So, yeah. And it says, on the night of the blood moon, the Vampire Lord must die. Must die. The first one is like Hades and Persephone meets Beauty and the Beast. Second one, I don't remember. But this one, it says, darkly reimagined Snow White meets inspiration from Beauty and the Beast in an epic fantasy world of hunters, vampires, and curses. And I hope there's the map, because there's the map in the first 2 books. Yes. There's the map. Like, in the first book, we are in here. Second book, we are in here. Third book, we're in here. And if I look at that, the 4th one is gonna have a mermaid dude in it. First of all, they are very beautiful. Like, the books are super beautiful. And I loved the 2 others. Florian, who's our main character, kidnapped and brought to the vampire castle. Florian is now blood sworn to the Vampire Lord. She is bound in mind and body to her worst enemy. But Reuben, the dude, isn't the fiend she thought he was. She learns the truth from the vampires. They are not mindless monsters, but a proud people twisted and tortured by an ancient curse. Yes. Next, I'm gonna reread. Okay, there's two of the books on my TBR that I don't physically have with me right now. I'll tell you about that. I'm gonna reread Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Cursed because Kingdom of the Feared, the third one, literally just came out yesterday. And it's gonna be here the 6th. So, in a couple days. So basically, this is about Emilia and Raph. It's a love story, of course. And I just want to show you because this is fucking beautiful. That's a map of hell, by the way. So basically, Emilia and her twin sister are witches, and of course they were told that hell and demons are no good, okay? No good at all. And one day, Emilia finds her sister murdered and wants to summon a lesser demon to help her find the murderer. But she ends up summoning Raph. You know, one of the 7 deadly sins. One of the demon princes. And he does help her. And they do fall in love. And the second one ends on a big ass cliffhanger. So I can't wait to reread them and read the third one. Next, I have The Inheritance Game and Hawthorne Legacy. Third one, which is, I don't remember the title. Came out like last month, and it will also be here the 6th. And what I know of it is that Avery is invited to a mansion, I think it is. Yeah, her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune. The only catch? Avery must move into his sprawling mansion full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. But of course, that dude's grandsons are there and they're like, what the fuck, why are you the one with the money? And there's a lot of puzzles, and honestly, I'm pretty sure there's a love story in there, of course, and I know I'm gonna love it, and the vibe fits October. So again, third one of this will also be here the 6th of October. Now, we're gonna go from the maybes that are most likely to be read to the least likely. First of all, we have Catherine Ann Kingsley, the Memento Mori. Oh, this is free too. Okay, the Memento Mori series, which is Kiss of the Necromancer, Dream of the Necromancer, and Tale of the Necromancer. So, if you don't know what it is, Memento Mori means remember you will die. It was written in, I think it's Latin. It was written in a lot of older Renaissance paintings. It says, Memento Mori, remember that you will die. Too bad, death is all Margaret can recall. Margaret has no problem remembering death. She can remember dying again and again and again. The issue is that the impossible visions of her life coming to gruesome and terrible ends are the only things she can remember. So basically she doesn't know who she is, what her life was like, what her goal is. She just knows all of her deaths. And Catherine Ann Kingsley is doing villain romances, so I'm pretty sure that's what it's gonna be. Then I have 3 witch books. I have Witch Haven, which I've been wanting to read since last year, but I haven't. So, like, all that I know is that the main character is in a witch academy, but here it says, before she can be condemned as a murderer, 2 cape-wearing nurses arrive to inform her that she is deathly ill and ordered to report to Axehaven Sanitarium. But Frances finds Axehaven isn't a sanitarium at all. It's a school for witches. We do love a good school for witches in this house. Next is The Dark Tide by Alicia Jasinka. Jasinska. And here it says, the Witch Queen comes on wings of night. The Witch Queen has your heart's delight. Hold him, hold on tight. Hide him, out of sight. This is LGBT witches. Every year on St. Walpurga's Eve, Kildella's Witch Queen lures a boy back to her palace, and an innocent life must be sacrificed on the full moon to keep the island city from sinking. So Lena's brother will be that sacrifice. So she goes instead of her brother, and then I'm pretty sure like the Witch Queen and her fall in love. That's all I know, and that's all I need to know. Then another LGBT witches with mental illness. Witches of Ash and Ruin. I'm pretty sure that's the one with mental illness, isn't it? Yeah, it is. 17-year-old Dana Walsh, is struggling to cope with her OCD, the aftermath of being outed as a bisexual in her conservative Irish town, and the return of her long-absent mother, who barely seems like a parent. But all that matters to her is ascending and finally becoming a full witch. Plans are complicated when another coven, rumored to have a sordid history of black magic, arrives in town with premonitions of death. I love LGBT witches, okay? Fuck. I'm gonna tell you another one because that's another one I'm, of course, gonna read, and we're gonna leave it there because besides that, I have like a ton of books that I want to read that I most likely will not get to. So, we have Jar of Hearts. Oh no, there's two I want to tell you about. Jar of Hearts right here by Jennifer Hillier, and it says, how far will someone go to bury their secrets? Angela Wong, one of the most popular girls in school, disappeared without a trace. Nobody heard from her again, not her best friend, Georgia Shaw, not Kaiser Brody, who was close with both girls. 14 years later, Angela's remains are discovered in the woods near Gio's childhood home. Kaiser, now a detective with Seattle PD, finally learns the truth. Angela was the victim of Calvin James. To the authorities, Calvin is a serial killer, but back in high school, he was Gio's first love. It's a thriller, and does look very fucking good. Last but not least, this big ass TBR. If We're a Villain. It's been on my TBR for 2 months. I've had it the paperback for about a year. Probably gonna get to it this year. I hope so. Really hope it's this month. But if you don't know, basically it's like I'm pretty sure it's 2 timelines. But it says, on the day Oliver Marks is released from jail, the man who put him there is waiting at the door. Detective Colburn wants to know the truth, and after 10 years, Oliver is finally ready to tell it. A decade ago, Oliver is one of 7 young Shakespearean actors at Delature Classical Conservatory, a place of keen ambition and fierce competition in the secluded world of firelight and leather-bound books. Oliver and his friends play the same roles on stage and off. Hero, villain, tyrant, temptress, ingenue, extra. But in their 4th and final year, good-natured rivalries turn ugly, and on opening night, real violence invades the students' world of make-believe. In the morning, the 4th years find themselves facing their very own tragedy, and their greatest acting challenge yet, convincing the police, each other, and themselves that they are innocent. So I think, at least I hope, that there's 2 timelines, like back when it happened and now. I don't know, my guys. It just looks like a very good book. Apparently it's gonna have a Netflix thing, movie or series. I don't know. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. It was probably very fucking chaotic, but so am I. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a wonderful day, and see you later.